go ahead and take a seat inside the surfboard. Good morning, everybody. Come on in. Y'all can take a seat inside the circle. Grab a seat. Got a couple more seats over here. We're not going to invite you. Come on in. All right, whenever everybody gets seated, we'll go ahead. All right, good morning, everybody. My name is Chloe, and we are here today to talk to you guys about some really cool animals and some really cool subjects. So, I'm Chloe. I'm Kelly. I'm Haley.
And I'm Emily.
And so, before we get started, we have just a few rules for you guys. So, I know we are going to bring out some awesome friends of ours, and I know it's really, really, really exciting, but we're going to stay seated today. So, we're going to make sure we stay in our chairs, unless otherwise directed by one of us. Second rule is our last animal, and then maybe some of the animals, we are going to have a chance to touch. And so, whenever we touch an animal, can everybody show me 2 fingers, just like this? Whenever we touch an animal, we're going to touch it with 2 fingers. All right? And then last but not least, unless the music is playing, we're going to stay quiet. Some of these animals may be a little, you don't want to scare them. They are super sweet. They've been handled for a long time, and they love meeting new people, but we don't want to spook them, so stay quiet, okay? All right, to get started, Miss Emily is going to get started with a little game for us, okay?
Yeah, so everybody, if you will take what you have in your lap, put it under your seats because this is a standing game. You're going to need some room, some wiggle room. And when you have your stuff under your seats, if you would take your right hand and put it in the air for me, if you would find somebody and give them a high five and hold that high five. Yes, say hello, buddy. Hello, buddy. If you don't have your hand, now, if everyone has found their buddy, you can stand up with your buddy and put your backs to your buddy. Does anybody need a buddy? We can be a buddy. Yes, we have buddies if you need one. Back to somebody. So if you will notice, we have some things in our basket, and if you're handed something in your basket, you can feel free to put that thing on. Yes, our wonderful ladies are handing out our stuff. So now that we have the things handed out to us, we will put those on. The object of the game is to change your appearance just a little bit, whether you want to put your hair down if it's up, take your glasses off, maybe change them around a little bit, turn your shirt up and backside out. I don't know. I don't take any clothes off to everybody. But if you would, we will have 5 seconds to do our changing, and once that change is made, you can turn around on the count of 3 when I count down from 3, once we have everything ready. And the object of the game is to figure out what changes your partner has made. What questions do we have about that activity? Anything? Awesome. So you have 5 seconds to change your appearance real quick, fast, and in a hurry. 5, 4,
you don't have to use the prompts.
3, 2, 1. Awesome, a little high pressure situation there. Now, if we are ready, we will turn around to our partners and figure out the differences that were made. Alright, if you guys want to direct your attention back here, who has a cool example of maybe a difference that their partner made for them?
My partner took down her hair.
And then I noticed that she didn't have any shoes on.
Nice. Do you have another example maybe? Something cool that their partner did to change their look?
Her earrings.
Nice. Alright, that's all for our activity. If you guys would head back to your seats, that would be awesome. Thank you for participating. So who thinks they might be able to answer why that activity took place? The reasoning behind that activity. You want to give it a try? No? One of our volunteers over here. Want to give it a try? See? No one knows why that activity? Well, the reasoning behind that activity is to see each other's differences. Sometimes we one another based on our differences. And then when things are changed, we realize that they're the same person. They just changed something maybe on the outside about them, maybe what they wore, how they look to other people, or maybe once they're comfortable in a situation, they become more apt to be comfortable with you. And so they change who they are just a little bit because they're not nervous anymore.
Yeah, so think back, you don't have to answer this question, but when your partner reacted to the way that you changed, what was that like? Was it a good reaction, a bad reaction? Were they surprised, happy, kind of weirded out by the way that you looked? Like Emily said, this was about looking at differences. And there's a big problem right now about how we look at other people's differences and we think that it's a bad thing. We judge them ahead of time based on these things that we see that are different. And so today we brought a few animals out to talk to you about how differences are good and how differences make people special, make people unique, and really contribute just extra things to your life in ways that maybe you don't have the ability to contribute to. So Haley is going to bring out our first animal volunteer.
Man, thank you guys for setting that up so awesomely. We are going to meet a friend that's going to help us learn a little bit about this situation of seeing how differences can be super duper awesome. But in order to hang out with this friend, I need a volunteer who can operate this super handy dandy squirt bottle. So, what is your name, good friend? Chris. All right, so what I need you to do is, can you practice for me? Can you? Oh, yeah, all right, it works. You got it down. So I'm going to need you to spray my hands whenever I ask you to. Don't go be going crazy. No drowning my hands. But when it is necessary, I will ask you for it. So let's go ahead and get good and over there. Now, I know this seems pretty silly, but this guy is super awesome and special. And how do you open this cage? Whoop, got it. That he has to, I can only hold him when my hands are wet because he is slimy. This dude gets prejudged because he has really slimy skin and it kind of freaks people out. Can you get somewhere there? There we go. He loves it. Woo! He's a marathon runner, so he's kind of wiggly. So this is Sanford, everybody. He is a cutie. I'm going to walk around with him so y'all can see how slimy he is. And the best part about him is his cute little smile and his super buggy eyes. He has the most adorable little face. Just remember, if you're nervous, go ahead and sit on your hands for me. That indicates that you don't want me to get near him. See how slimy and gross. He's got a whole bunch of junk on him right now. You all see his cute little smile? He's so cute. He is super awesome. And you know what? Some people may not like him because of his slimy skin, but that's actually something that's really important and helps us out a lot. It makes him an indicator species. Would you need another? Thank you, volunteer Chris. He jumps every time. It's like it's a little cold. Can anybody think of what an indicator might be? It's not a word we usually use. Can you think of something that indicates something? Any ideas? What is it?
Like when your car light turns on?
Yeah, the lights in our dash, they indicate to us, like if the check engine light comes on, you might want to go to the shop and get that checked out and make sure everything's up to snuff. So an indicator species also tells us something about the environment. Because his skin is so sensitive, we know that if he's in an area, that the environment is really healthy. So let's look at the actual definition. An indicator species, it's up on the board here for you, is an animal or a plant that can be used to figure out how healthy the ecosystem is. So since his skin is super duper sensitive, he's not going to want to hang out in areas that are maybe really gucky or gross or have pollutants in them. So if we go to a place that usually they would hang out in and they're not there, that means that something might be wrong with that ecosystem. Maybe there's something we need to go help clean out in order to make that better. So this really weird trait about him, something that maybe would get him prejudged, is actually kind of like a superhero ability. We get to learn from him because of this cool ability that some people may be kind of grossed out by. This is the same thing kind of with people. When we prejudge people based on how they look, or maybe we think they're a little weird, we lose the opportunity to learn from them and learn about them. And that just hurts them and us. So that's all for our friend Sanford today. Everybody say bye, Sanford.
Bye, Sanford.
He's going to go back into the hut here. I'm going to clean off my hands. Alright. We're going to introduce our next friend.
And while Haley is putting Sanford away, I'll go ahead and talk a little bit about our next friend. Our next friend, likes to live on the ground. She doesn't move or have legs to walk, so she can be a little scary to some, but when she comes out, she's the sweetest thing you'll ever meet. So I'll go ahead and bring her out. And just remember, if you feel a little nervous or a little worried about this next friend, you can just go ahead and sit on your hands. That way, Kelly and I know that you're not feeling comfortable. And if you'll look, our next friend, Miss Snowy, super long. She's a monster. So our next friend is Miss Snowy. She's actually an albino corn snake, and she's super excited to be out this morning. She's smiling. If everyone wants to say hello, Snowy. Hello, Snowy. She loves meeting new friends. Now she's an albino corn snake, and albino means that you're a little paler than some. Normally corn snakes are a darker color, and so out in the wild she is apt to be seen by more predators maybe, because she is a little bit lighter than her usual. But the cool thing about her is she gets to eat mice that are in the field, out in cornfields maybe, or wheat fields. And she gets to help farmers out because she eats those mice that might be eating some of those farmers' crops. So she helps our agriculture industry as well. Now, because she is a little different than some, she can be judged because she is a snake, one, and that can be kind of scary for some people who have predispositions. And because she is albino, we'll look at the real albino definition, and that is people or animals are born without the typical pigment or color in their bodies. So because she's a little different, maybe her snake friends even judge her because she is not like them. But the cool thing is, she looks cooler than other snakes, I would say. And so to talk a little more about Snowy, we'll have Kelly Cone and Tom.
So, like Emily mentioned, we've got a picture up there. Typically, Snowy has a little bit more orange and brown tones, and she's called a corn snake because the pattern on her underbelly, when she's colored orange and brown, looks a lot like Indian corn, which we also have up on the screen. And another thing that's unique about Snowy is that she actually has asthma. If you listen really closely, every once in a while you can hear her make a little wheezing sound. Now, because of this asthma, she's not able to live in the wild on her own, and if she was a pet, maybe someone would have given her away because she's not perfectly healthy. But because of this, she makes the perfect educator for us. Because she's got this asthma and we have her, we're able to bring her out to places like this classroom to teach people like y'all all the cool things that snakes have to contribute to our environment. And similarly, you may know someone, or you may be someone who has asthma, and say you can't participate the same way that other kids can. Maybe you can't play sports, maybe you can't run around as much as other people do, and sometimes people don't include you, or maybe you don't include other people because of this. But a lot of times people maybe have asthma, have different abilities, special abilities, unique abilities, like maybe someone who isn't as physically capable has artistic ability. Maybe they can draw or paint or sculpt, or maybe they have musical ability, they can sing or write you a song. Or maybe they have writing ability, they can write you a fun story. So it's important not to judge people based on something like their physical ability, because they have a lot of other things that they can bring to the table. So we are going to say goodbye to Snowy and bring out our next animal volunteers. So everybody say bye, Snowy.
Bye, Snowy. All right, so the next animal we're going to meet, her name is Sharon. So she loves sharing her story about including others and making sure everybody is welcome. So to get out of Sharon. All right. As I get her out, if somebody wants to raise their hand and tell me something that may be different about Sharon. So Sharon is a box turtle, and I'll tell you guys a little bit about what that means in just a minute. But somebody raise your hand and tell me what might be different about Sharon. Yeah.
Is she missing a limb?
She is missing a limb. So Sharon is missing her front left leg. And so how many of you might think that this could impact her walking ability if you don't think that she could get around very well. Yeah? All right. So I'm going to show you guys if she wants to walk around. She's already moving around. She can get around pretty well if she's, all right. You ready? She says, I'm a little sleepy. You just woke me up from a nap. But she's pretty good at getting around. But what happened is that somebody was mowing their lawn and they didn't see that there was a small box turtle in their lawn, and so that's how she is missing her limb, is that she got run over by a lawnmower. And so she could still get around pretty well, but she probably wouldn't survive as good as other box turtles in the wild. So that's why she's with us here today. So Sharon, right here, so she's missing a limb. So a lot of people might prejudge her and say that she can't get around as well as everybody else. But we know, we just saw her walk a little bit, even though she was a little sleepy, that she can still kind of move around just like everyone else. So another thing that she might be prejudged for is that she's a reptile. So whenever we see snakes or turtles or something like that, that might make some people nervous because they have the scales and things like that. And so people might not think that they're the sweetest animals, but she really loves meeting new people. So as I go around, does everybody remember how we touch the animals? Everybody show me the 2 fingers. So as you go around, I'm going to let you guys touch her on her shell right up here. So if you guys want to touch her shell, you guys can. You want to.
I also got some Germex that we'll pass around to you if you want.
So Sharon wants to talk to us, Sharon's going to help us talk to you guys a little bit about some of our next activities that we're getting into, but it's important that we look at our salamander, our snake, and our turtle, and we're not judging them based on something that we see right away. We kind of get to know them, because Sharon loves sharing this story. She loves meeting all these new people, but people might not think that that a turtle or something like, or a turtle or a snake or even a salamander can be such a great teacher, but she's a pretty great teacher, I would say. But our next activity, we're gonna grab Miss Callie over here, and she's gonna lead us in something really, really fun and exciting.
Yes, so to tie everything together that we have talked to you guys about today, we have prepared a fun song. So it's to the tune of Boyfriend by Justin Bieber, if you're familiar with it. We're going to have the words to the chorus up on the board. We would love for you guys to sing along. If you're familiar with the tune, feel free to sing along to the chorus with us the first time that we go through it. If not, don't worry. We're going to go through that chorus 2 to 3 times, maybe 4, see how we're feeling, just to get everybody comfortable with it, involved in it, singing along and having a good time. So we're going to grab the lyrics sheets. So it starts with a rap. There's not going to be any music, but you'll know when to come in. So here we go. If you meet a new friend, judging is a no. Appreciate the differences you've never seen before. Everyone's unique, and we all want you to know that what makes someone seem different is what makes them special. Yes, 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 it's true that they're just important as me and you. We met Sanford Snowy, Sharon, our new friends too. Now say hello to the bridge in 3, 2. Everyone's different, no one's the same. Don't be afraid, don't be ashamed. Don't judge a salamander by its slimy skin. Don't judge a snake or turtle by the shape they're in. And don't you judge your friends by their differences. Tell somebody else and let's sing it again. Don't judge a salamander by its slimy skin. Don't judge a snake or turtle by the shape they're in. And don't you judge your friends by their differences. Tell somebody else and let's sing it again. Let's sing it again.
Alright, so guys, as we're leaving the forest today, we just have a few things for you to remember. As you're leaving the forest, make sure you tell somebody else in this room something that you appreciate about them. And we challenge you guys every day to tell somebody else something that you appreciate about them and something that may not be a physical characteristic or something that you really enjoy about being with another person or your friend or even somebody you just met. So that's all we have for you guys today, but as you're leaving the forest, make sure you guys tell somebody else something that you appreciate about them. Thank you.